My name is Stella, and I am abstinent and I'm grateful. And like all of you, I'm a compulsive eater, and I weigh 3 meals from the Cambridge Gray Sheet, and I turn them over to my sponsor, and I don't eat in between, no matter what. And abstinence has given me this life today, and I'm so grateful. And it's, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm also relieved to be here. Um, it feels like a safe space. And you know, I I'm going to talk about my experience, strength, and hope, a little bit of what it was like, and a little bit of what it's like today. And yeah, and if you hear anything, that's great. If not, there will be another meeting. Um, and everything that I just need to say, everything that I have learned here and what I probably was, whatever I learned from all of you. I really feel that I grew up in Gray Sheet. So I've been weighing and measuring my food since November 4th, 1997. And it's a day at a time. And that's how I celebrate every single day. And I'm grateful. Um, this is a threefold disease. And I visited OA for a couple of meetings in Toronto. I live in Toronto, Canada. Um, and it was it was great. It was great because what I heard was what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear people sharing about what I was feeling in the same way. And for me, what that was um, I have this emotional response to food. Not only when I'm eating it, does it do something to me for me, but I also use it, and I'm not going to say did use it. I'm going to say use it um, when I'm having a feeling. And I say that in that way because we can use our 3 meals a day. It's not a moral issue, my sponsor says to me, because I don't have any narrative around when I'm eating and how I'm eating, um, and what I'm eating. I think, did I say what already? And that's because I do Gray Sheet. So the food plays nothing in my brain um, around validating who I am and how I am. And the food did do that to me. And then it manifested when it showed up on my body. And the hand to mouth action, I mean, I come from a personality and character makeup where that hand to mouth action, that wasn't me. I wasn't putting the hand to the mouth. It was somebody else. Um, so I'm starting there with that part of this disease. And yet I wanted to be so relevant and poignant and on topic. And I thought, gee, this is called Sunlight of the Spirit. And so before the meeting, I went to good old Google, and it says the expression comes from the big book, and it refers to the state or a state of being that occurs when we are free from our resentments. And the next sentence from Google, resentments are sometimes referred to as the refeeling of an experience. And I do know that I have learned that along the way about resentment and about refeeling an experience. I'm very literal. So right away I thought, oh gee, this meeting might be a little bit more about the spiritual component that we all deal with on a daily basis. And I'm going to use the collective. Um, so for the newcomer, yes, it's all about the food. It's the physical manifestation. We have to, or at least my experience was putting down the food. I knew nothing about different food plans. Again, I did go to a few OA meetings. I addressed the issue, the the disgust, the shame, the embarrassment, the problem that I had in my formative years the self-loathing as I can't lose weight. I carry around excess weight, um, and I'm no good. And I can't stick to a diet, and I'm so not good. The emotional part of that was there as well because it was connected, like if I wasn't successful on a diet, I was therefore not successful as a human being, as a person, as anything. And that just continued to fester within me and started to develop me as a human being. And I was able to progress in my life by doing the drill, going to school, then more school, being in a family. There's family of 7 of us. There's 5 kids, 2 parents, and extended family. And they're used before the beginning of the computer era. I want to say the word, or it's like the WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get, and what you saw of me wasn't what you got, because what you saw on the outside was like a big person, because I was carrying around, I mean, I was like size 16, 18. I'm 5'5". I hated my backside. I hated my body. So even to describe it, it's like, ew, I don't want to go there, because I just didn't have peace with my body. And this is about the sunlight of the spirit. So I'm trying to get this all in. But I didn't have peace with my body, and therefore I didn't have peace with myself. Anyway, that disgust, shame, all of that continued. And in those crucial years, I mean, we raise adults, we don't raise kids, we raise adults. And I've learned that because I want to raise an adult, not a kid. And so now I have these adult kids. But anyway, I'm just joking. With adulthood comes a lot of responsibility, which means, showing up to life and doing the drill with life's responsibilities. And I wasn't so keen on showing up, especially when I hated my outsides. And what you see is what you get. On the insides, I I I I do believe I am a happy person. Um, I like people and I like to laugh. I like all those things, which I'm grateful for, actually really grateful for. But I couldn't stand how I looked, and as a result, I had such bad self-esteem. Um, so it's interesting that the reading, I went to a book that's conference approved literature, and it talks about, on today's date, I may resent disappointments and I may rebel. Sorry, it says, in a sense, everything that happens to me is a gift from God. I may resent disappointments, rebel against a series of misfortunes, which I regard as unmerited punishment. Yet, in time, I may come to understand that these can be considered gifts of enlightenment. They teach me that many of my punishments are self-inflicted. And what that has to do with sunlight of the spirit is the self-loathing that I built on this person over the years was just right there. And then I found program. And the program, and as we say here, God doesn't make junk, or will love you till you love yourself, the fellowship. And that self-loathing, that punishment I so inflicted on myself, not only played out on the physical side because I was eating at people with that resentment, with that disappointment, with that unmerited punishment. How dare they, you know? And like it says, resentment is a refeeling, it says, of an experience. Well, I was caught in the refeeling of those bad experiences, those punishing experiences, and wanting so desperately to not refuel them. And yet I continued to do that when I ingested the food. I ate the food because it gave me such a pleasurable feeling for the moment. But then, I was the outcome was, of course, on my outsides. And
Stella, that's 10 minutes.
oh, thank you so much. Thanks, Carla. And so feeling that pain, of punishing myself. It wasn't about, even though I was eating at that person to, maybe vindicate myself with, because they hurt me, therefore that expression, like, drinking the poison, hoping the other person dies, 100%. So my sister lives in New York City, and she came home to Toronto, and honest to goodness, I didn't even see the body reduction she had, because we both blew up. I have there's four girls, one boy, and we all became beyond zuftig, to the point of obese. My sister, well, I'll talk about me. So I was 264 pounds at the end of my second pregnancy. And that's when she came home, and I was still pregnant at that time. And I had had a miscarriage in between, and people said, "Oh, now you can lose weight because whatever." And I'm like, and I ate more because I was going to eat more at them. And I wanted what she had, not here, but here, right here in the eyes. And what I saw in her eyes was that peace. And all I knew was I wanted what she had. So after the birth of our second child, and it was 4 months later, she's getting married at the end of June. She's going to be 27 in August. I made two phone calls. One was to a nutritionist in Toronto who I'd seen before. Another one, like, I even forgot there was another one where you give tons of money, you sit down, it's 101. She reads, looks at your food journal, and the scale is up. It's like, but you said you ate X, Y, and Z. Why? I don't know. And I really don't know, because I was not accountable for putting that food. Never, never could I be accountable for anything. And that person didn't call back first. It was the person in Toronto who could take my food. And so I am a good girl, and I am I do what I'm told, because I'm down the bottom of five kids and middle child. It's like, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to cause problems. And I'm saying that because I'm married a guy who's also a middle, and our form of communication is not great. However, and I never wanted him to be in program. He is in his own program for clean and sober for like almost a dozen years. And we just had an situation before this meeting, and his words to me was, "This is your fault." And that's self-punishment. That, I am to blame. I can take it, but I don't have to take it. And back to the sunlight of the spirit. Um, what that means for me today is, like, to be in the sunlight means you have to be exposed, you have to be in the bright light. But that's okay, because what I've learned, and this is a threefold disease, is, again, God doesn't make junk. And if nobody loves you today like I love you, or, all of the above about finding the love in the way that, I'm going to say, me as an addict has learned how to find the love. Um, I find love in my 3 meals a day. I'm going to say it right there. I find love in my dog. I find love in the great outdoors, God. Dog is God backwards. I'm going to look for that love, or that sunlight of the spirit, in all of you. And I can do that when I come to a meeting, because you guys carry that within you, because you work a program. And I am so grateful for that, because I am reeling with feelings with my husband saying, "This is your fault." And it's about the sink being clogged. And I'll own it, because yeah, I am a person who works that kitchen hard, because I eat from the gray sheet, and I eat three beautiful meals a day. And they are my sanctuary and my sanctity and my sanity. And then I can live life on life's terms. I can meet the conditions of the day. I was going to bring up the expression, bear the discomfort and the comfort will come. but it sounds like it's so painful. And I'm not a person who likes to be in pain. And hence I am an addict who took that bite to quell like just not satiate me, because it never satiated me. It gave me that quick fix.
Stella,
And
that's time.
I'm so glad. Thank you. Because Carla, I want to hear from all of you and be bathed in the sunlight of the spirit. So thanks, and I'll pass, and I'll leave my contact information. Thank you so much for asking me to be here.